I'm the devil and I could kill you. Those are the words that Brianna Bongland just testified that Sean Diddy Combs once threatened her with. Bongland, a friend of Cassie Venture, is on the witness stand right now testifying that the music mogul dangled her over a 17-story balcony.
Why would a woman be left dangling off the 17th floor balcony just for being best friends with Diddy's lover? I hadn't done anything wrong. I was just on Cass's side. But he looked at me like I was broken, grabbed me, and I thought I was about to disappear. The name Brianna Bongland is no longer unfamiliar to American media. A stylist and fashion expert who's worked with major entertainment brands, she was also Cass's close friend and quiet companion during the turbulent years under Diddy's shadow. Brianna wasn't just a witness, she was there inside the penthouse, in the passenger seat when Diddy lost control, and ultimately, she became a victim too. A second Cassie, obedient, silent, and never allowed to speak back. But is Brianna simply recounting the terrifying moment on the balcony, or does she hold a secret powerful enough to shake Diddy's empire? Was that loss of control an accident, or a glimpse of something far more dangerous he's kept hidden for years? And if her revelations are true, will this trial stay a legal proceeding, or could it finally topple a once untouchable mogul?
Beneath the pale gray sky of Manhattan, the 17th day of Sean Diddy Combs' trial unfolds in a heavy atmosphere. Outside the federal courthouse, media and the public continue to gather in droves amid echoing chants of justice for the victims and the relentless flashing of camera lights. Inside the courtroom, everything is set. Judge Raymond Castillo takes his place, the legal teams exchange tense glances, and the witnesses have been summoned. Sean Combs, known as Diddy, appears in a dark suit sitting silently behind the defense table, his icy gaze fixed on the witness stand. 9:03 a.m., the gavel strikes. The trial officially begins.
The courtroom felt suffocating, like the air itself was bracing for a storm. Pale sunlight streamed through the high windows, illuminating Brianna's eerily calm face. She sat at the witness stand with perfect posture, hands gripping a stack of documents and a small USB drive. Her anchor, her evidence, her truth. This session of the Sean Diddy Combs trial was different. Where past hearings relied on vague claims and hearsay, today there was a direct witness. All eyes turned to her. "My name is Brianna Bongland," she began, her voice steady but soft. "I grew up in Oakland, California, and I'm a stylist in the entertainment industry. In 2010, I met Cassie Ventura during a fashion project. We became close friends. From the start, Cassie was already in Diddy's orbit, not just working with him, but living with him, enduring both his fame and his darker nature." Her hands tightened on the railing as her gaze drifted. "I am here to testify that Mr. Sean Combs engaged in abusive behavior, sexual assault, hung me off a 17th floor balcony, and directly threatened my life. I further accuse him of sex trafficking and orchestrating a systematic criminal enterprise." A ripple of whispers ran through the courtroom. Diddy's lawyer rose, eyes cold. "According to medical records, you had a high fever that night. How can you be sure your memory isn't distorted? Do you have evidence, or are you relying on emotion?" Brianna's heart raced, palms sweaty, but she didn't falter. Slowly, she opened her folder and held up the USB. "I knew you'd doubt me. He has money, power, and lawyers. But he can't deny his own voice." She pressed play. The courtroom went silent as Diddy's furious voice cut through. "I'm the devil. I can kill you." Furniture crashed, glass shattered, screams tore through the air. The jurors froze. One woman instinctively covered her mouth. When the recording ended, all skepticism vanished. Only ragged breaths and eyes fixed on Diddy, pale and tense, hands gripping his chair. The judge instructed her to recount the incident. Brianna's gaze remained firm as she relived that night in Cass's Los Angeles penthouse. Exhausted and battling a fever, she had stepped onto the balcony to take a call. The glass door burst open. Diddy, bloodshot eyes blazing, roared, grabbed her roughly, and hoisted her over the 17th floor railing. The icy wind whipped around her dangling body. Inside, a bodyguard froze, a friend cowered behind the sofa, and Cassie, terrified but determined, pulled at Diddy's arm, screaming, "Stop. You can't do this. Let her go." Her courage forced him to release Brianna, who hit the balcony floor hard, neck scraped, knees bruised, mind reeling. Diddy destroyed her belongings and growled, "You dare defy me. You'll regret this." Brianna's memory of that night never faded. It had lived inside her like a shadow screaming every night. Now, under the cold courtroom light, it was as vivid as if it happened yesterday. The judge looked at her, voice calm but probing. Do you know why Diddy did that to you? Brianna lifted her head, voice trembling yet steady. It was the constant suspicion, the control, the invisible power he wanted over me. It wasn't curiosity. Every question was a warning. You can't hide anything. Don't speak to anyone but me. It wasn't just pressure, it was suffocation, the spark that ignited conflicts and, eventually, violence. It was possession, control, and a sign that cracks were forming in his world. A faint, haunting murmur of happy birthday to me passed through her memory, but she pressed on. Judge Raymond Castillo narrowed his eyes. Miss Bongolan, you and Cassie were with Mr. Combs for some time. You surely know about the White Party and the freak-off. Can you explain what the White Party entailed? Was it typical, or was something unusual happening beneath the surface? Brianna drew a deep breath, steadying herself. Your Honor, on the surface, it looked like a standard business event. Investors, deals, networking. Guests dressed in white, glasses clinking, laughter. But it was all a facade. Beneath it were unspoken agreements, hidden schemes, threats no one dared mention. The judge leaned forward. And the freak-off, you said it was different. How so? Her hands gripped the railing as her gaze swept the room, pausing briefly on Diddy. His hand trembled beneath the table. Freak-off wasn't a party, Your Honor, it was a dark kingdom. Dim lights, masked figures, bizarre rituals. He demanded oaths of loyalty. It was the heart of an underground system where power thrived on silence and strict confidentiality. She continued, voice steady, recounting what she endured. Every attendee had to prove loyalty. That night, a bodyguard took me away. The car sped into the darkness for hours, leaving Los Angeles behind. No road signs, no words, only the hum of tires and a sense of being swallowed by something immense. When we stopped, I was blindfolded, guided into a subterranean chamber. Candles flickered on stone ledges, masked figures standing silent around a low stone altar. A goblet of dark, tasteless liquid and a paper with a vow of eternal loyalty were placed before her. Trembling, she drank, kneeling to recite the oath aloud. The room quivered, the masked figures clapped silently. Then Diddy emerged from the shadows, still in white, still smiling, icy hand gripping hers. Well done, he whispered. From now on, you're with me, like Cassie. The room fell silent. Brianna realized she had entered a world with no escape, where every soul had already been claimed. Barefoot on the damp stone floor, a cold liquid touched her forehead as a whisper in an unknown language sent chills down her spine. She was led to another room, resembling a pristine luxury suite, sterile and under constant surveillance, a camera fixed in the corner, reminding her every move was watched. Then, a knock at the door. A tray of food was slid into the room, the aroma tempting, but Brianna didn't touch it. She curled up on the bed, heart hollow, mind reeling, unsure if fear or the strange liquid had drained her will. Hours, or maybe days, passed. Then Diddy appeared, alone this time, no masks, no rituals. He sat on the edge of the bed, eyes lingering like a sculptor admiring his work. How do you feel? His voice was light, almost gentle, yet every word cut like a razor. Brianna couldn't answer, couldn't dare. He leaned closer. You've been chosen. Not everyone reaches this depth. Cassie, once trembling, now knew the ways of obedience, of surviving Diddy's manipulations. His touch brushed Brianna's back, sending shivers rippling through her. She wanted to scream, to fight, but the ritual had stolen her voice, her resistance. It wasn't a party, it was a dark kingdom, an underground network where the wealthy unleashed their depravity. To enter, one had to surrender everything: mind, body, loyalty. No one left unchanged. We didn't live anymore, Brianna whispered. We existed as shadows in his world. The courtroom fell silent. The jury watched in horror as Diddy lowered his gaze, sweat glistening, tension visible. Judge Costello nodded slightly, recognizing the weight of what he'd just heard. Why did Diddy want to kill her? The answer lay in the secrets Brianna carried, secrets that could topple his empire. Brianna wasn't an outsider. A talented stylist and Cass's closest friend, she had been a safe harbor amid storms, entrusted with sensitive messages, photos, and videos exposing Diddy's cruelty. That night on the 17th floor balcony, her friend secretly recorded everything. Screams, threats, crashes. Diddy's blackmail followed, a choice to serve as a second Cassie or face financial ruin disguised as contract law. She knew Cassie's hiding spots, covered for her, and dared to advise her to leave Diddy. The consequences were brutal. Cassie was beaten, Brianna confined, and she overheard Diddy plotting against those who defied him. Forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement, Brianna lived under constant suspicion. As Diddy's empire faltered under FBI scrutiny, he turned on her, convinced she could destroy everything. The physical wounds healed, but psychological trauma lingered. Cassie helped her escape. Brianna sought therapy and fled Hollywood, seeking silence and healing. Yet the darkness followed. Threats, surveillance, media smear campaigns. Eventually, empowered by other victims' testimonies, Brianna returned, armed with a USB and a dossier documenting Diddy's violence and manipulation. From a terrified witness on the balcony to a courageous figure in court, Brianna Bongolan exposed the truth. This trial isn't just about legal justice, it's a beacon for women silenced by power, proof that courage can illuminate even the darkest corners of abuse. Her story challenges the entertainment industry to confront hidden atrocities, showing that money and influence cannot permanently suppress the truth. Now the question looms: will Brianna's evidence be enough to bring Sean Diddy Combs to justice? Can the once untouchable mogul be toppled, or will wealth and influence bend the scales once more?